to the daughters of Judah. Rebirth praise team. Hallelujah. And we have been practicing, and we're going to perfect those things which concerns us through the Ruach HaKodesh, okay? So we're going to sing 2 selections. But before we do, I want them to introduce themselves. Down the line, my name is Mother and Lady Hadassah. So I'm so glad they're mature enough and they have the brave and confidence to say, we're going to sing and we're going to give glory to the Most High. And I'm glad they are able to participate so that we can Shabbat the Most High. And we starting off with the lovely lady.
Shalom, my name is Kimberly Jackson, also known as Julie.
Shalom, I am Renee Williams.
Shalom, I am Nakonda Ivy.
Shalom, I'm Sabrina.
And we're going to sing a cappella today. And we have Brother David over here that's going to be on the drums. And next time we're going to have a keyboard that assists us so that we can do that complicated song that we ever wanted to really actually do with the spirit of Moses and Miriam singing Yahuwah Elohim. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and sing Yahuwah's prayer, which is the Lord's Prayer of Yahuwah, followed by original song from Lady Kim.
Yes.
And y'all gonna love this awesome. She wrote the song and we're excited about it.
Yes, we are.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come quickly. Your will be done the same in earth as it is in heaven. Let heaven come to earth as it is in heaven. Let heaven come. Praise team.
Our Father in heaven,
Hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come quickly. Your will be done the same on earth as it is in heaven. Let heaven come to earth as it is in heaven. Let heaven come. 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 Let heaven Hallowed be thy name. Thou kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For yours is the kingdom, yours is the power, yours is the glory forever. Amen. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the power, yours is the glory forever. Say it loud. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the power, yours is the glory forever. Amen. Yours is the power, yours is the glory forever. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the power, yours is the glory forever. Amen. One more time. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the power, yours is the glory forever. You are the kingdom. Oh, your glory, your will be done. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Your kingdom. Your kingdom. Yes, yes, yes. Your will. Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Go ahead, go ahead. Let your will be done in our lives. Yes, yes, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. This song that the Most High has given me for Rebirth of the Nation praise song is called We Give You Praise. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, we praise you, we praise you. Yahuwah, we praise you, we praise you.
give you honor. We give you praise. We give you honor. We give it all. We give you honor. We give you praise. We give you honor. We give you honor. We give it all. We give you. We give you. We give it all. We give you. Let me hear y'all say that's the check, Yahuwah. We pray. Don't just say a higher. We pray. We pray. A higher. We praise. Say God. We praise. Yahuwah. Yahuwah, I love that. We praise. That's how Yahuwah. We praise. We praise. Hallelujah. We give you honor. We give you glory. We give you. Give it all. We give you honor. We give you praise. All the glory. We give you all. That's an original rebirth. Augustus song. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Amen. We got to definitely get to the point where we don't at all sit on the Most High. That's all right? All right. All right. Let me get this thing plugged up for something happen. Anybody feeling hot?
Smoking. Smoking.
Oh, we smoking now.
We're just telling them it's smoking now.
Well, I ain't gonna be long then. Make sure. All right, here we go. Hallelujah. Can everybody hear me? Hallelujah. Thanks. Hallelujah. All right. Today, we're going to deal with, real quick, I know this is in the, can y'all see around this? Everybody all right? It's in the way. Can you see the screen? Yes. We good? We all right? Okay. All right, today we're going to talk about something real important about the concept of giving to a vision and what that is. Now, y'all know we ain't about money. We went about, it's about 2 years before we even touched on giving in the scripture. So we're gonna do a teaching on the concept of giving so you can understand the blessing of it. We're not going to necessarily, some of tithing is going to be in here, but we're going to show you the concept or what time. Brother Scott did a good teaching on that some years ago. Not last year? I think it might have been a year or two ago. So we're going to hit a little bit of that, but we're going to break down the concept of giving, because to get anything done, we got to do what? Yeah. You got to give. To have this building, it ain't for free. The lights ain't free. We can talk all we want about Israel doing this and taking over and doing all that, but if we don't put money where our mouth is, it don't mean nothing to it. Hallelujah. Let me get this together. So, we're going to talk about the concept of giving, and then I'm going to show y'all the example of what me and my wife have been doing. Because that's something, one thing I don't do is ask you to give, and I don't give myself. So we're gonna deal with that. That's all right? All right, let's go. Now, I like to go back to the Hebrew to understand the full concept of stuff. Because we could go into definitions of words where you look at your strong concordance and stuff like that, and they give you somewhat of an understanding. But you got to remember that the Hebrew, let me use the mic. It's going in and out. Hallelujah. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna cut this heat off. I'm hollering up here. I'm glad that heater working though. Could be the heat of us, just us getting together. Y'all know we draw heat. All right, so we're gonna deal with what the Hebraic term of giving is. Now you actually have to go into Hebrew, and every Hebrew letter has a characteristic, because we know the ancient Hebrew, Paleo Hebrew, before then started off with pictographs. So you will get the pictograph to get the full concept of what the letter is stating. So what we're going to do, we're going to take each individual word to compile the whole Hebrew word to see what it means to get the right concept of it. Does that make sense? All right, so because y'all know the Most High ain't give us the book in English, did he? All right. When he spoke in what? Hebrew. That's why you have to understand. You ain't got to learn Hebrew, but you have to have your concordance or a book to get Hebrew definitions to get what a word is saying, right? We understand we have a translation of a Bible. I'm going to say that again. He didn't give us the King James from Mount Sinai to Moses. I know y'all live on the King James. King James is good, but he didn't give the King James in English to Moses, did he? It's a translation from the original language, so you have to go to the language to understand what it's saying. Does that make sense? All right. Now, the first Hebrew word for giving, let me get there real quick. The Hebrew word for giving is Yahab. Yahabah. 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 That's the Yod, the He, and the Ba. Yahabah. Alright? So we're going to break each letter down. And we'll go over the alphabet in a minute, but just follow. The Yah or the Yod is where we get the pronunciation of Yah. Yah from. Alright? So the Hebrew letter is He. And He means behold, to reveal, as in the symbol of a window revealing. So the He in Hebrew, not the Yod, but the He in Hebrew means to behold, to reveal, as in symbolizing a window revealing. That's the He. All right, we're going to keep going. The Bet, that's the second letter of the Hebrew alphabet, is the Bet. The Bet is a word for house or household or tent or into. That's where you get the word Bet from, and its symbol is here. All right, but the pictograph, what it means is a word for house, household, or tent. That's where you get Laham is house of bread. Does that make sense? All right, Bet. All right, we're going to keep moving. Let me see. That's what I missed. That's what I was looking for first. I went too fast. Yod, so Yahabah. The Yod, it means right hand extended, power or might or deed to work or to make. That is what the yod is saying, right? So you got right hand extended. You got the hay, which means to behold, to reveal something. And you have the bet, which means house. So when you put the yod, the ha, and the ba, Yahaba, what is the definition? The definition of Yah is right hand extended, indeed to work or to make. The hay, which is ha, means to behold or to reveal, and the bet means the word for house or tent. So what is the concept of revealing when you put the definitions together? The power or working deed that reveals what's in the house or the household. The power to reveal what's in the house. So your giving, because we are what? We are what? The temple. We are the house of what? The Most High. So your giving, according to the definition of Yahabah, means it reveals what's inside of you. That's going to really show. That's why Yeshua said, where your treasure is, there will be what? Reveals what's in you. All right. Does that, are we tracking so far? Because this is why when the rich young ruler came to Messiah, and he said, I have done all these things from my youth. What's the next thing? He said, I kept commandments, I done under this, I ain't steal, I ain't lie, I ain't covet. He said, I've done all these things, right? But what's the next thing he told him to do? He said, I want to see what's in your heart, what's working. So he said, sell all you got and come and follow me. That became a what? A hard thing. He walked away with what? Much sorrow. Because he can do the outward aspects of the law, but the inward to reveal what's in his heart, he couldn't do it. Am I on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all all right? Don't get scared. Don't get scared. You're going to be all right. But watch this. It's going to reveal. Because you can't say you're part of a vision and don't give to us to see the vision come to fruition.
That's right.
Y'all all right?
That's right.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving. Don't shout me down now. So let's look at Matthew 19, verse 16 to 22. I think that's what I just said. Well, I already gave you what that was, right? With the rich young ruler. I got ahead of myself. So y'all write that down, Matthew 19, 16 through 22. So Yahabah means the power or work that reveals what's in the house or the household. Or you can look at it, when you look at household, you're looking at the household of faith, which is the house of Israel. All right? And it's going to reveal who's really connected to the house. All right, let's keep going. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's look and see what the Most High say about giving, because this whole teaching is going to be on giving like an offering, not necessarily tithe. We're going to talk about the tithe. But we understand what true tithes was back then, right? How many of us understand what that was? Grain. Things on the ground, because what? It was an agricultural society. They didn't need tangible money because we in a totally different system than they was in. We're not in agriculture. You can't bring no agriculture here and expect the lights to stay on.
That's right.
Don't bring me no grains. All right, let's see. Watch this. Deuteronomy 15 and 10. It says, give generously to him that do so without a grudging heart. Then because this, that Yah, your Elohim, will bless you in all your work and everything you put your hands to. He said, if you give into him generously, he's going to bless everything. Y'all hear what I'm saying? And I'm not teaching this in the sense of just giving to the ministry, but I'm talking about giving to the poor, giving to the fatherless, the widows. You got so many things that need to be. Now, don't give them no Red Cross now and all this type of stuff, and that's a whole nother thing. What they doing with that money. All them videos that talking about save the family in Africa, no, they ain't doing that. Because if they were doing that, them people would be a little better with it. I was been a little boy, we still been saving that same family. Them same commercials. And I done the research. I can show you the ills of that. Deuteronomy 16:17. Every man shall give as he is able. Listen. Pay your bills. Hear what I'm saying to y'all. If you ain't got your bills paid, don't be trying to give a great amount and your bills ain't paid. And then you wonder, you talking about, well, I done gave you this and no. The Most High wants you to be stewards over your money. Now, you start off with a certain amount that you can give, right? Now, don't do it like this. Now, you know you can do better. And then you going out there and buying everything else. And you say, I got to pay my bills. No. Because the Most High looking at where your heart is at. But I don't want nobody to go in bankrupt like some of these people say, going bankrupt trying to give towards something. That you already made a covenant with this bank. And you ain't paying them folks on time. You see what I'm saying? But you do want to set aside money that you can give towards the work of the Most High and towards what he's doing. But make sure you pay your bills. You see what I'm saying? Am I talking crazy? Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of Yahuwah, your Elohim, which he has given to you. So he's going to challenge you on what he gave you with his money. That's his money. How can you tell him what you're going to do with what he provided you with? Y'all shouting me down. Now, it's the most quietest y'all ever been. But I ain't backing off. You see what I'm saying? So this is why it's important. If you want to be blessed, you have to, because everything in the Most High is discipline. You got to be disciplined with your finances, disciplined with what he give you, and set aside an amount that he can bless and watch it begin to grow so you can give more. But if you're stationary and you're never growing, you have to look at your stewardship and have to look at your giving. All right, I'm going to handle some things in a minute. 1 Chronicles 29:9. Then the people rejoiced because they offered what? So willingly, for they made their offerings to Yah with a whole heart, and King David also rejoiced greatly. Proverbs 3:27. Do not withhold good from those whom it is due, when it is in your power to do what? To do it. So if you have and you're not doing, is that right? Let's keep going. Proverbs 11:24-25. And if people need this PowerPoint, just let me know and I'll give it to you. There's one who scatters and yet increase all the more. And there's one who withholds what is justly due, and yet it results into want. The generous man will be prosperous, and he who waters will himself be what? Watered. So it's a blessing. The Most High will empower you into giving to what he destined you to give towards. All right? Proverbs 21:26. The righteous gives and does not do what? Hold back. All right? Because let me tell you what some of us do. Now I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's all right. Some of us, since we came to the truth and came to Israel, we understand that the tithe was really for the Levitical priesthood. It really was for the Levitical priesthood, and then I'll show the scripture that it talks about, that it says it's also for the widow and the fatherless and different ones like that. And I'm going to show you, though, it's a difference between the tithe that he gave them and the tenth that was established before that. All right? Now, a lot of us take that, which is true. You don't have no Levites around here, right? And we ain't got no grain and none of that to give to them, right? And tithes was not necessarily in the ancient kingdom. It was never really money. It wasn't. All right, now we're going to get on that and show you the difference, but it was an agricultural system. They had shekels, they had money at the time, but they gave of what? Their produce. And it took faith for them to do that. Why? Because they were agricultural, self-sufficient people. Not like us depending on other nations to give us everything. They made their own clothes, they made their own foods. Anything they had, they made themselves. So they had to depend on the Most High to bless their land in order that they could reap a harvest. We got a hand?
You preach, come on.
I was gonna say the same thing because they were an agricultural based economy. They had to depend on the Most High to pour down the rain.
Exactly.
To be able to give the tithes. So everything was connected to the land. They knew the source from which the source of income was easy to get it right back. Whereas now we're disconnected from the land. We're disconnected from that mindset. So it becomes a little bit more difficult. But that whole sustenance was based on faith.
That's right. That's right. Because the difficultness is the same. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Because you already was dependent on the Most High to produce enough from the ground for you. Then you had to take 10% of your produce and give it to the priest, which took faith. Because you didn't know how much you was getting in that season. Because anybody that plants stuff in the ground, everything don't always grow like it's supposed to grow. It wasn't like they were just having just bountiful things. The Most High checked and tested their giving. You see what I'm saying? So, you have some, bro?
The just shall live by faith.
The just shall live by faith.
They're going to eat by faith.
And go eat by faith. Now let me ask you this. Watch this, because a lot of people hop on that because they ain't got faith to give anyway. Some people never gave. Like, I've been given the 10% of my income and more all my life, and I see the blessing, so nobody can ever take me from the giving the offering of 10%, and I'm going to show you something with that. Now, but the tithe, if we could recognize, because the Levites are here, we just don't know who they are. Now, if the Levites was to come back right here today, we find them, would you get 10% of your income to them? Yeah, I don't want to hear all that. If they was here, would you give it to them? Would you bring a Levite into your house, which we was called to do? We would have to, because we couldn't have them, but a lot of that dealt with how the temple was set up and all that type of stuff there too. I'm talking hypothetically speaking. But don't look at some emails about it. But really, if it was established today with the faith that you have now, could you take your 10% and give to the Levites? First of all, what was the concept of why the Most High did that? We look at the deed, but we don't look at the principle. So what? The Levites and the high priest, that they may be able to finish and do the work of the Most High in the temple, undistracted. All right, let's keep going. Proverbs 28 and 27. He who gives to the poor will never want, but he who shuts his eyes will have many curses. Ooh, let me hold up right there. I put that in there, but I should have read that slow. I ain't see that one. It says, he who gives to the poor will never want, but he who shuts his eyes will have many curses. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Talk back to me. Get the mic. Somebody get the mic or somebody just talk. Why is that? Think about something that Yeshua said.
Because when you've done it to them, you've also done it unto him.
There you go. They said sometimes you entertain what underwear? Angels. So you might think that sluggard, that poor man, all that was just somebody. That could have been an angel most out watching your face. He could have just blessed you with your income tax. Mm-hmm. And you seen that brother laying out on the street. Or somebody call you struggling. And you know you got it. And you still what? You shut your eyes. Now it's a wisdom. It's the wisdom, because you don't want to fund somebody's transgression if they into drugs and stuff like that. This is what I do. When I deal with people that's on the street and different things, I tell them, listen, I don't give you money, but if you're hungry, I'm going to go down the street and get you something to eat. If you need some clothes, I go down the street. I done took off my shoes when I seen the brother outside walking bare feet. Took off my shoes, say, bro, can you wear this size? Gave him my shoes. I give you clothes. I'm not going to give you money unless I can understand what you can do with it. So I'm going to do everything that I can for you. I even set some people up in hotels that were sitting on the street. You see what I'm saying? But I don't want to fund something that can cause your demise.
Right, okay.
So it's a wisdom in how you do it, unless the Most High give you to say, specifically give this person some money, then you do that. But I'm wise with how I do that. And sisters, please have a brother with you if you're dealing with somebody on the street.
That's right.
Don't put nobody in your car. Have somebody on the phone if they talking to you. You know, be very careful because this is a dangerous time. Very dangerous time. All right, Malachi 3:10. Bring all the tithes into the storehouse so that there may be food in my house. Test me now in this, says on the both sides, and I will and see what I now open up a window of heaven and pour out a blessing until it flows to you. Right? Now a lot of people quote that, but not give into the example of who that was for and why that was said. All right, examples of our ancestors giving. Let's look at that. Now, Genesis 14, this is before the law. Now, there's a difference between offering 10% of what you possess that you want to give back to the Most High versus giving a tenth of your tithe according to the Levitical law. It's a difference with that. Can't nobody make you do this. Ain't no law required that say you have to do what Abraham finna do for Melchizedek. But because you understand the principle of it that was there before, they did it with a willing heart. That's why every scripture after that is with a willing heart give. Am I making sense?
Yes, sir.
Let's read. Genesis 14:18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abraham of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. And he blessed be the Most High Elohim, which have delivered thy enemies into thy hands. And he gave him a tithe of all things, which was the things that he got from that war. Right? So he gave them a tenth of all the things that he received from that war. Does that make sense? So it could have been more than grain. And they went in there and they got weapons, they got all type of stuff that he gave. He gave him a percentage of all of that. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
But this is a free will offering rather than a demanded one for the Levites. Y'all tracking?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. A free will. Hebrews 7. Verse 4, see how Melchizedek was. Abraham, the father of the people, gave him a tenth of everything he captured. Did he go out there and capture some corn? Everything he captured, so it's a tenth of it. The descendants of Levi, watch this. The descendants of Levi who received the office of priest have a commandment on the law to collect the tenth of everything from the people who are brothers and sisters, though they are descendants from Abraham. But Melchizedek, who is not what? Related. I thought that only Leviticals could receive the tenth. It's saying that Abraham and Melchizedek weren't even related and received what? A free will offering. Because what? Abraham didn't have to do that.
Wow.
That's why the Most High said, I want y'all to, in the principle, start off with a certain percentage. And allow me to bless them. Somebody start off with 5% of stuff coming out their house that the Most High might bless. 10% can grow to 15%, can grow to 20%. To what the Most High give you to give towards. Are we making sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all see the difference between a demanded law versus free will. But it says he wasn't even related to them and received a tenth of everything Abraham had and blessed the one who received the promise. Without question, the less important person is blessed by the more important person. In addition, in one case, a tenth is received from people who die. In other cases, the tenth is received by someone who continues to live according to the record. It could be said that Levi, who received the tithe, paid a tenth through Abraham because he was still in his ancestor's body when Abraham paid the tenth to Melchizedek. So Levi, that's why you got to be careful because the things that you do can reflect on your lineage. Abraham, Levi got credit for paying tithes while he was in the loins of Abraham before he was even born. That's why he said, I choose you before when? No, before you was where? Before you was formed, I have already destined you and gave you a purpose. That's why you shouldn't go to any man for your purpose. You have to go to the Most High. because it was destined before you was even, your substance was even here. And we wonder why we have consistent struggles, because anything that's not functioning in its purpose is abused. So we wonder why our life might be in conflict, turmoil, abuse, because we're not functioning what we was originally created for. So anything outside its normal use is called abnormal use, which is what? Abuse. That's why you have to find out why you was created and get into that function. Am I talking crazy? All right. Am I helping you?
Yes, sir.
Genesis 28, let's look at another free will offering. Again, this is free will. Can't nobody demand this from you. You're not going to get cursed if you don't do it. It's free will. But now, when the temple and everything is set back up, when the kingdom comes, then that's a different story. But right now, we're scattered. Go ahead, sis.
Is the temple a physical temple?
She says the temple or physical temple.
Wendy, no, the right now, we ain't got no temple right now because that was destroyed back then. All right, so the temple right now is us. We are the temple of the Most High. When the kingdom comes, it talks about the new Jerusalem coming back down. They're talking about how we're going to raise up former generations, and all the nations are going to bring all the wealth that was taken for us to be set back up in the kingdom. See what I'm saying? So when the kingdom comes and Jerusalem is down, that would be a physical place.
So that's going down in Israel right now. It's just
No, don't pay them no attention. They ain't got a prophecy in prophecy that relates to them. All that is a deception.
That's right.
Because I'm finna get off lesson if I go into that.
No,
No, you good, but we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna deal with that because you got to look at it's a certain way that the Western Christianity eschatology of what end times would be, that they would need a temple to validify things. All right, but we'll get into that another time. Genesis 28. When Jacob woke from his sleep, he thought to himself, and Yah is definitely in this place, but I didn't know. He was terrified and thought, a sacred place also. It's none other than Yah's house and the entrance from heaven. After Jacob got up early in the morning, he took the stone that he had put near his head and set it up as a sacred pillar and poured oil on the top of it. I'm going to stop right there. Jacob, he made a stone his pillar. All right, this is just something to know in there. What kind of hair would he need to have for that stone to be somewhat comfortable to lay his head on? A fro, some type of bush. You can have no straight stringy hair and laying your head on that rock, and that rock ain't gonna get cut up. But if you got woolly hair, bushy hair, pretty hair, you can lay it down and wake up. You might have rocks in that fro, but you're gonna spring up and be good. That's a FYI. He named the sacred place Bethel, though Luz was in the city, its original name. Jacob made a solemn promise. Watch this promise. If Yah's with me and protects me on this trip I'm taking, and give me bread and eat clothes to wear, and I return safely to my father's house, then Yah will be my Elohim. Watch what he says. This stone that I have set up as a sacred pillar will be Yah's house. And of everything that you give me, I will give what back? I will give what back? Is this before the law or after? Before. Is there any record of Jacob giving that to him? Huh? Sometimes you can speak things and it'll be through your descendants where they'll come to pass. Because he said, I would give a tenth. A lot of times when you look in the scripture, when it's talking about I, you, it's talking about a generation. This is why it says in Isaiah 55, I believe says that it said the same word that I put in your mouth, I will put in what? Your seed mouth. So he was speaking of something and didn't know that his children was going to fulfill it. Because who was inside of Jacob? The Levitical priesthood. And the 12 tribes did what? The Levitical priesthood, I didn't get a tenth to just the 10, but the 12 tribes gave a tenth to them. So his children, the other tribes, honored what he said that he was going to do. before they was even born. Am I talking crazy? All right, let's keep reading. 2 Samuel 24, 20 through 25. Again, there's a difference between a free will offering that you do on your own, that you committed to the Most High, versus demanding the 10% that goes to the Levitical house and the Levitical priest. Are we making sense? Verse 20. Aruna, whatever that is, looked up and saw the king and his servants approaching him. And Aruna rushed out and bowed low before the king, and his nose to the ground. And Aruna said, "Why has my master king come to his servant?" David said, "To buy this threshing floor from you, to build an altar to the Most High, so the plague among the people may come to an end." Then Aruna said unto David, "Take it for yourself." Look at what he said. He's telling David to take it for yourself, and may my master king do it with what he best. Here are the oxen entirely burnt offering. Here are the threshing boards, the oxen yokes for wood. All this, your majesties, Aruna gives to the king. And then he added, "May Yah, our Elohim, respond favorably to you." So King David went to go buy some land, a threshing floor, and all that. This brother said, "Oh, you come to buy it? Never mind that. I'm gonna give this to you. Here go all the oxen." And then the wealth in those days was how many assets you have, because it was back behind cows and sheep and lambs and vegetation. All that made you wealthy. All right. So he told this man, "You can have it all." But watch what David says. Watch what David said. David said, "No. Wait a minute, David. He trying to give it to you." I would have been like, "Appreciate it, bro. Let me get that. I can have that too. I appreciate it." But watch David's heart. Yahweh, the work or deed that reveals what's in the house. Watch what's in his house. He said, "No, king. I will buy them from you at a fair price. I won't offer to the Most High Yah entirely burnt offerings that didn't cost me anything." This is important of why we should give. Whether we ain't just coming and being a part of stuff and never contribute to the ministry. What it's saying? That's saying we've been a part of something that didn't cost us anything. You hear what I'm saying? Because it don't cost nobody anything to come sit and be fed. Right? But I'm going to be straight up honest with y'all. Because we family. But it costs the mores and teachers everything. And I'm finna be honest. All the traveling that we do, the vacation, all my vacation time go to the work. All the time spending time with my family going to get lessons together and get teaching. We get calls every day for people, consultation, for marriages. All the extracurricular time go into the work. It costs us everything. Me and my wife give 10% and even greater than 10% to the ministry. We got about, just in this ministry, just with Augusta, we got about $600 a month going out to ministry to make sure this get done. Because no matter who's here, who's not here, the work gonna get done and this house gonna be stable. I've been doing this all my life. And I've been seeing the pattern of this from my father. So everything that we are doing is for the work of the ministry. That's why my prayer life ain't about me, my faith ain't about me, ain't none of that about me. When you a leader, it ain't about you no more. You got to give out to the people, no matter what, and trust the Most High with the rest. So this is why it's important for us to band together to get things done. Because what? We don't want to be nowhere and nothing that ain't costing us anything. Because the Most High going to look at that. He's going to look at what percentage of you got going to my work. What percentage of your time? What percentage of your wisdom? I see you putting money on everything else. How much you giving to my work? You see what I'm saying? I'm not one that say to give and don't give. That's just in Augusta. I give to other things too. Well, because in the end, we gonna get the work done. Now, I'm not saying that to make nobody feel bad, but I'm saying that the challenge where you are, so you can get consistent and release something, even if it's just a certain amount a week, a certain amount of month. You want to get to a point where you can really say to the Most High, this is how much I care about your work. I'm willing to give all of me, my time, my money, my patience, every part of me to work to you. And what he said, then he would be like, well done, what my good and what faithful servant. We ain't saying that and don't do it. You see what I'm saying? So it's important to provoke righteousness with each other. But again, what I tell you to do first, pay your bills. But always get to a level where you keep it in your mind, I want a percentage of my income going to that. Because most I looking at it, you got that new iPhone, $1,000, $300 a month going to that. $700 and some dollars going into the cable bill with straight up 200 and some channels of straight up seeds of wickedness. Not for real. He looking at all this stuff you put money into. But he got to work that you are part of, because it ain't just Moray Morris and Moray Josh. All of us is rebirth. Every time y'all come here, y'all bring a presence, bring an energy, bring an excitement. That's why we need y'all in every area. But we can't have any schisms in the body. We got to get where we trust in each other, y'all. That's right. Well, we ain't looking at each other and having a hidden agenda, or let me make sure that Moray Morris know that he gonna stay as this right there and stay as that. I don't want his head to get a little big, too big. It's already kind of big. My natural head. But spiritually, those that know me understand that that ain't my spirit. Ain't that right, David Pierre?
That's right.
Ain't that right, Brother Tavares? That know me for years know that ain't my spirit. So you ain't got no worry about me getting the big head. Point no point in time. Y'all laughing too hard. Watch it now. You see what I'm saying? But the Most High, what is he going to do? He's going to bless diligence. I served for years. And that's why the Most High is what? Returning back and giving me like-minded people. It's been years that in my father's ministry that I gave all types of money. Me and my wife, a certain percentage off our income tax check, we give it every year, let alone with every percentage of coming out of our house. Anything came out of our house, we gave some to the work of the ministry. I was always giving up my time, giving up my energy, giving up all these things. This ain't something that's just started.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So the Most High will bless you from the seeds that you have sown. Faithfulness. Never did I know that we'll be a ministry that's going all over the states right now. Yeah. I did not know that. Like my wife always say, we just started just making it a class. Yeah. That's all we were doing. Meeting in the little building, making it a class, and then it became a ministry. Yeah. We had people leave and say, I'm coming with you. I ain't done yet. You coming with me? Where I'm going? But the Most High had a purpose in what he was doing. No slight on anything of where we came from, but the Most High had a purpose. All right, let's look at what giving to a vision to the Most High is. Habakkuk 2. Write the vision and make it plain on tablets. He that may read it may run with it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, and it shall hasten in its end and shall not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come to pass and not delay. Let's look at what vision means in the Strong Concordance is chazon, which vision, oracle, prophecy. All right? So let's look it up again. Chazon, which is vision, oracle, prophecy, divine communication. Vision all can be title, book of prophecy. And it can also mean a dream, a revelation of oracle, and a vision. When you look, the root word of chazon is chazah, and it means to perceive, to look, to behold, to prophesy, to provide, as a seer, or to perceive. So a lot of times the Most High, he give us, how many of us, we might have been excited about something like a new job or a new career or a new something that you're doing, and you can see it flourishing before you even started. That even gave you the reason to start because you've seen it. He gave you a vision of what's going to happen. He just don't give you what all you're going to go through in order to get it there. I'm glad he don't, because I'll be like, I ain't doing that. So let's look at what Shazam means. All right? All right, I got that broken down. Oh, okay. Vision in the paleo pictograph. All right, so we got the Ha, the Hey, we got the Zion, we got the Vav, and we got the final Noon. And you'll learn all that when you start learning the Hebrew. You got no, not the ha, but the it's hard to pronounce. You got to see it in the back of your throat. Shit. It's like shit. I'm country, so it's coming out shit. It's coming out, it ain't shit, but you got to say it with the back, shit, like that. And you'll form it when you're doing words. You see what I'm saying? So you got your shit, you got your Zion, which represents, the shit means a fence or surround or mean like a gate. All right, the Zion represents even an axe, which represents an action or work, something to sustain. So an axe is what they would use to chop down trees, to do the sacrifices, something that sustain you. The bar represented like a peg or a nail, which is something that secures or connects to hold together. The noon or the final noon, which is the same thing, just a different representing of the letter, is represented by a fish to increase, to multiply, and abundance, right? So let's look at what the Hebraic understanding of what vision means. To have a vision is the protection that works to sustain, secure, and connect the increase or abundance. I'm gonna say that again. Vision means, in Hebrew, protection that works to sustain, secure, and connect abundance. This is why it says without a vision, the people do what? Because you have nothing to protect that the work or sustain the abundance that's going to come in. So this is why you have to have a vision or the direction that you're going, so you can be protected and the people can be protected, and when the increase comes, it can be sustained. But you can't do that without what? A vision. This is why men must get a vision for your family, or your family won't be what? Protected. They won't be what? Sustained or secure with the abundance that the Most High want to give you. Anything you try to do, let the Most High give you a vision and write it down, because your vision is your direction and where you're going. If you don't have that and you're just doing stuff, all type of attacks gonna come and you're not gonna be sustained. That's why the vision of Rebirth Ministry is to awaken, restore, and prepare. Does that make sense? So, and this is what has to be done with a vision. Your vision must be clear enough to understand the route or the destiny. So anything that you're believing for, that you're setting up, it must be clear enough for you to understand the direction and where you're going. Because the Most High could be dealing with you and trying to build you into something. But you got to have a vision. It must be clear enough for you to understand, okay, this is why a lot of stuff I don't take a deal with. Because I have one voice in this awakening, and this is what the Most High gave us as rebirth to be in this awakening. This is why I don't deal with everything and everybody, because I haven't been called to that. I've been called to do specific things to raise up a specific people, not everybody in the awakening. This is why it's easy for me to cut ties with people, because you might not have been there, you might not have been in this vision for this voice. That's right. For a specific time. That's why I don't wear nobody close like that, where I go crazy if they break away from me. And I don't chase nobody. I don't run after nobody. Because when the Most High move people out of the way, why are you running to go get them? Yeah. He's protecting the vision. Yeah. You got to get emotionalism out the way and understand the voice and direction that you're called to, without being emotional to people. It must be concise, easy enough to repeat and understand. You can't have no vision statement that's just 12 paragraphs. Folks get confused. What are we doing? Awaken, restore, prepare. And the last thing, it must be compelling, provoking enough to engage people's heart in it. All right, let's keep on. Again, what's our vision? To do what?
Awaken, restore, prepare.
To do what?
Awaken, restore, prepare.
To do what?
Awaken, restore, prepare.
All right, awaken, restore, prepare. We in a lot of, if you look at the ministry, the first thing when we was going on tour doing, we was awakening people. And then the Most High got us in the realm now where we restoring and we preparing for prophetic end time events. But again, don't ever get so close to somebody, love people, that it pull you off your call to what you called to do. I don't care. I love everybody. The leaders, I love everybody. But when it comes to my call, I'm not taking down to nobody. I'm moving forward and going. I was with a group of men before, and us four together should have conquered the world. I thought we should have conquered the world because we had a team. Them brothers was powerful, but it didn't work. But when I told them brothers from the beginning, I said, listen, I know everybody excited right now, and everything is good. But I said, if something happened with us, all of us got to have a calculated determination that we're going to finish the course no matter what. And I told them, I said, I will put what the Most High gave me on my back to make sure it gets done. If this don't work out, I'm going forward. I told all of them that, looked them up in their eyes. And I'm the only one still pushing and still going. Because what? I ain't letting down. The Most High ain't going to look at me and say, you ain't do what I called you to do.
That's right.
And he going to test that. Because he going to put people in your life to get close to you and then pull them away from you and see if you're going to let mother, brother, sister, father be greater than what he called you to do. That's why my test had to be so hard. And had to be there. Ties with family. I love family, but he had to try me right there. To see what I put my family before what he called me to do. See what I'm saying? And this is the same thing that my father passed down to me. It's exactly how he operates. And he got to a whole nother level. My dad just like, never mind. He don't play. He on a whole nother level. But every time that we're teaching, this is what we're doing. We changing your perception of who you are. That has to rise. Change your perception of why you exist. Those two things have to rise. You can't believe that you just David P.L. You just Mario. You just Brother Joe. You just Brother Tavares. You just Sister Nakami. You got to believe that you're greater than that. This is why the Most High spoke down the years that I chose you to be a peculiar people. Because that's the level of operation that I want you operating at. Change your perception of why you exist. Why are you here? Like for real. Are you here just to go to work, to come to assembly, to go back home, to go to the grocery store? Why are you here? What's your purpose? That has to change so every day you'll wake up on assignment. And then that would change your sense of significance in the earth. What does that mean? I know I can't leave until I get done. Every apostle knew when it was time to receive death. You know how many times they tried to kill Paul? But he got to the point he says, now I finished my course. I know they're going to kill me in Jerusalem, but I'm going anyway. You know how many times they tried to kill Messiah? They tried to get him and throw him off the cliff, but it said he passed through. He kept going. He had an appointed time to die. And he kept the one that was going to sell him out with him. Moray, why you don't just keep that person out? Why you ain't been did that? Why you, I don't move unless the Most High say move. When the Most High say move, because it's the Most High job to do what? Protect the vision, not ours. We all right? So vision and paleo means the protection or the fence that works and sustains to secure and connect the increase or abundance. That's what it is. So the concept of Hebraically supporting the vision. Now, let's see in the scripture, did the people give money, gold, and silver to support a vision? Because we stop at tithes. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
2 Samuel 7. Y'all look quiet over. Y'all talking back a little bit, though. Y'all waking up. 2 Samuel. Now when the king lived in his house and Yah had given him rest from all his surrounding enemies, the king said unto Nathan the prophet, see now I dwell in the house of cedar, but the ark of Elohim dwells in a tent. And Nathan said to the king, go and do all that is in your heart, for Yah is with you. Verse 4, but the same night the word of the Lord came to Nathan and said, go and tell my servant David, thus says Yah, would you build me a house to dwell in? I have not lived in a house since the day I brought up the children of Israel out of Egypt to this day. But I have been moving about in a tent in my dwelling, in all places where I have moved with all people of Israel, did I speak a word with any judges of Israel, whom I commanded to shepherd my people Israel. Why have you not built me a house of cedar? Now therefore you shall say to my servant David, thus says Yah, I took from the pasture and from the following, from the sheep, and you should be a prince over my people. And have been with you wherever you went, and have cut you off from all your enemies before you, and I will make you a great name, like the name of the great ones in the earth. And I will appoint you a place of my people Israel. I will plant them so that they may dwell in their own place and be not disturbed no more. Y'all, that is what the biblical definition of salvation is. We'll get back on that. And violent men shall afflict them no more as they formerly, from the time that I appointed judges over my people, and I will give you rest from your enemies. It's a difference between being born again and having the salvation that was spoken of back to the kingdom. Moreover, Yah declares to you that Yah will make you a house. When your days are fulfilled, you shall lie down with your fathers, and I will raise up an offspring after you, and you shall come from your body, and I will establish his kingdom. And he shall build a house for my name, and I will establish a throne for his kingdom forever. And I will be with him a father, and he shall be to me a son. And when he commits iniquity, I will discipline him with the rod of men and the stripes of the sons of men. But my steadfast love will not depart from him, as I took it from Saul, whom I will put away before you. And your house and your kingdom shall be made sure forever before me. Your throne shall be established forever, in accordance with all these words and in accordance with the vision Nathan spoke to David. Now watch this. Leaders given willingly to support the vision. 1 Chronicles 29. So this, we know that David has been called to build a house, right? And Solomon. And let's look at what the people did. 1 Chronicles 29. Then King David said unto the whole assembly, my son Solomon, the one whom Yah has chosen, is young and inexperienced. The task is great because of his palatial structure is not for man, but for Yah. With all my resources I have provided for the temple of my God. Gold. Now this is what David provided. That's why if you under any leader or with any leader that's not giving himself, ain't no way he can talk to you about giving. Hear what I said. If you with any leader that's not giving himself, there's no way he can talk to you about giving. Besides, in my devotion to the temple of my God, now I give my person. Oh, let me go back. The treasure is great because of the plowshares and verse. With all my resources I have provided for the temple of my God: gold, work, silver, bronze, iron, wood, as well as onyx for the setting, turquoise, stones of various colors, all kinds of stone and marble, all these large quantities. Besides, in my devotion to the temple of my God, now I give from my personal treasures. From his what? His personal treasures of gold, silver from the temple of my God, over and above everything I have provided for this holy temple, 3,000 talents of gold of Ephraim, 7,000 talents of refined silver, for Ole and the walls of the building, for the gold work and the silver work, and for all the work to be done by the craftsmen. He gave from what he had and his personal treasure. Now watch what he asks. Now, who is willing to consecrate themselves to Yah today? Watch what he said. Remember, giving is Yahabah, and it reveals what's inside of the house. David called giving a consecration. We look at it as just prayer and fasting. He said, now who is willing to consecrate themselves to Yah today? It's going to reveal what's in the house if you truly consecrated to him. Now let's look at what the people did. Then the leaders of the families of the officers of the tribes of Israel, the commanders of 1,000, the commanders of hundreds, the officials in charge of the king's work, they gave what? Willingly. They gave toward the work of the temple of God 5,000 talents, 10,000 dashers of gold, 10,000 talents of silver, 18,000 talents bronze, hundreds of thousands of talents of iron. Anyone who had precious stones gave them to the treasury of the temple of Yah in the custody of Jehiah, a Gushanite. The people rejoiced at the willing response of their leaders. So their leaders began to give, and the people got excited. For they had given what? They didn't give commandedly. They gave what? Freely and wholeheartedly to Yah. And David the king rejoiced greatly. So they gave towards the vision that David had for building a house, and they gave it willingly. You see that? Was they commanded to give a tithe there? No. But they gave willingly based off what they had. Are we making sense? Towards the vision of where David was taking the people. Are we making sense?
Yes, sir.
Let's look at David's prayer. Who am I and who are the people that will be able to give generously as this? Everything comes from you, and we have given you only what comes from your hand. Who are foreigners and strangers in your sight, and who are all our ancestors. Our days on the earth are like a shadow without hope. Yah our Elohim, all this abundance that we have provided for the building in your temple of your holy name comes from where? Your hand. So if you pray, listen, y'all. I understand if some of us, we on fixed incomes, we ain't got that type of income and all that type of stuff. Don't worry about that. You pray and ask the Most High to bless you to be able to give something. He said they gave as the Most High did what? Bless their hands. So they know it came from him. I'm not telling nobody that's just struggling, that can't do nothing and trying to put pressure on you. I'm not, but I'm showing you in the scripture that you can live more, a little bit more abundantly as you commit in your heart to give towards the work of the Most High, because it's his work, not man's work, and he has to support you.
That's right.
Are we making sense? Yes. The Most High ain't gonna have his children out there scuffling and not surviving, but you have to work the principles that he set up in the beginning. The financial system in Israel was based off agriculture. We looked up the word tithe, which is a tenth, which is masar. It's a tithe, a payment of a tenth part. So we kind of dealt with that. So we can look at the principle, because like I said, now we understand that Israel was an agriculture society, right? Are we in an agriculture society?
No.
So what would be used, because just as it was them, given a tenth of what they had was an act of faith.
That's right.
It really was an act of faith, because they didn't know all the produce they was given, and the stuff that did come in, they had to give it to make sure what the Levitical priest and the high priest and all of them can be able to continuously do the work without having to worry about being distracted with normal things. We understand that principle. All right. So when you look at our society, what would be a trying of your faith in this system? Because it ain't based off agriculture, is it? It's based off what? So all of us can get away and be like, well, that 10th supposed to be to the Levites, we ain't got to worry about that. I ain't giving them this broke none of my money. Keeping all my money. He ain't nothing but just some liars, just like Creflo Dollar, which is a liar, which is like T.D. Jakes, which is a liar. Them boys liars for real. And they be teaching blasphemies when it comes to giving. Big time. And the Most High gonna judge him.
What a man from God.
But you understand that the trying of our faith, if you don't win a whole year without your faith being tried through giving, then have you really been honoring what the Most High set you up here to do? Because it's all type of things to give towards. And we'll get into some of those things with the ministry that we are in, which is Rebirth. Are we making sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going past that. I ain't got to talk about that. I ain't got to talk about that. Those that want who the tithe went to, I can give y'all this slide, and y'all can have all this, because we done kind of hammered that enough. We done handled the purpose of the tithe. I just read this so you can see. Deuteronomy 14:28. At the end of every 3 years, bring all the tithes, years produced, and store it in your town, so that the Levites who have not allotment or inheritance of their own, it said the Levites and the foreigners and the fatherless and the widows who live in your towns may come and eat and be satisfied. And so that Yah your Elohim may bless you in all the works of your hands. So the tithe didn't just go to the Levites. Are we seeing that? Are we seeing that? They went to the Levites, the foreigners, the fatherless, and the widows. So everybody can eat, to make sure ain't nobody hungry. And as we get to a level of trust, we can do the same here. Make sure that nobody is lacking and nobody is hungry. We just got to be wise with that, because you know how Negroes do. What they doing over there? I'm coming. I want some stuff paid for. I want some grocery this week. I'm a single mother. I lost my husband. Yeah, you Negroes something else, man. I love us though. Alright, I'm trying to go through some of these things. Yeah, because a lot of this stuff I done covered already. Alright, Nehemiah 13 and 10. Nehemiah 13 and 10. Let's look at what it says. I also learned that because the portion for the Levites had not been given to them, all the Levites and the singers responsible for performing the service had gone back to their own fields. So I rebuked the officials and asked, why has the house of Elohim been neglected? So this is when they was returning back to the land, and Nehemiah was gathering everybody back. And he noticed that the Levites was out there working and doing like everybody else do. And what did he say? He says, why have the Levites, no, he didn't say Levites. He said, why have the house of the Most High been neglected? Been neglected. I'm trying to help us see that. We got to look at listen to what I'm saying. Look at the things that are going out of your house and see if the house of the Most High or the work of the Most High being neglected. Just as it was being neglected in. Are you purposely neglecting giving to the work? That's the question you got to ask yourself. How much of my income is going to the work? Can I say $10 a year? It's all a mindset of saying, no, I ain't giving towards no man. And then with rebirth, y'all know we doing stuff. Y'all know we doing stuff. We traveling everywhere trying to set up a center. We got people emailing us every week want us to come to a city and set up a center. Right now we got about 6. Is that right? Augusta, South Carolina, North Carolina, New Orleans, Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio. And then we'll be taking on, I said New Orleans. Portland, ooh, yeah. Brother Dwayne in Portland. And then we coming up on Columbia. Yeah, Gainesville, Florida with Berean Council. Now, and people still ask. That's what I'm saying, like, brothers, we got to get together here because I ain't going to be going everywhere. I'm sending some of y'all some places. Y'all got enough word in you. For real. Where me out? Somebody else go. But what I'm saying is people don't understand what it takes to do that. People still asking me to come. I got to say this online. I ain't got no more vacation days. My days are gone, y'all. I ain't got no more days. My little personal time is at the full. I got a write-up the other day. I get a write-up every year, that don't matter. But I got a write-up. I ain't got no more time. But this is what I mean, what it takes to get us places and be able to get these things done. Because in the end, what's happening, people are waking up everywhere. We just talked to some 24-year-old, 2 twins. 24, shout out to OKC. I want y'all sisters to really give them young sisters, man. Really give their young sisters. They're about, all of them under 25. And man, they ready. They ready. They got about, they had a group of 15 and they said they had a group of 30 first. Man, they love Rebirth. I was talking to them yesterday. Man, they want to get on board, but they got to stay encouraged because, you know, some people have young people problems. We can't be scared. Like, hey, we done struggled. We done had problems. I done did all that. Even in the truth, I done made some mistakes. You see what I'm saying? So the free will offer. Woo-wee. Right there. All right, Exodus 35, and I'm going to jump to verse 20. Exodus 35, we're talking about the free will offering that we've been talking about. Exodus 35, verse 10 through 29. Like I'm telling y'all, it takes money to get this stuff done. And if we all, and I ain't just talking to Augusta, I'm talking to all the rebirths around the world. Man, the minimum, like listen to what I'm saying, y'all. The minimum people online is what we was asking was $10 a month. If you would have asked me for $10 a month in the Christian world, I would have laughed at you. Because I don't want to make nobody feel bad, but $10 a month ain't a lot. I mean, I used to give thousands of dollars and still give it now. $10 is all we asking for $10, and some people still be crying about that. I don't want to say crying, I'm sorry. Some people still have problems with $10. That's a hamburger Happy Meal. 2 times if that. But y'all see we got things doing. We're establishing assemblies. We're working on getting this big movie project done. A documentary costs money. And this documentary that we're going to do going to blow people away. Anybody that you, man, I'm telling you, anybody on the fence, when they get done with this movie, they ain't going to be on the fence no more. They're going to have to willfully lie and say that ain't true. Then we got teachings that we're trying to get translated to the people that we got in Trinidad, Brazil, different places like that we're trying to get a lot of our documentaries that we already put on YouTube translated in their language so they can understand it. And in other languages, right? And we also have where we're trying to work on now. We were going to be, well, I don't want to put that out there yet. I better not say that. But some of the things, I'll say that off camera, some of the things that we were planning on doing, we had to back up and regroup because really Passover took a big chunk. So now we have to build back the ministry up back so we can be going to these other places, encouraging these people. Go ahead, sis.
You said if all the subscribers get $10 a month, Rebirth would be okay.
Yeah. I mean, really, if every subscriber did that, I mean, we'll be more than okay. We'll have buildings in different places. We'll be able to do things that we need to do and get done. Huh? Yeah, we got a cash out. But what we doing though, as far as each individual thing too, because we already got an established place here, we understand what the rent is here. Like you got different, like as a whole Rebirth, we ask for a certain amount. But here in Augusta, our rent here is $600 a month. All right, so right now we have some people here that give also too, but me and my wife, we just make sure that's taken care of. No matter what, we don't get that done. Y'all know I don't even lift an offering every week. So we have to band together, because listen, if we plan on doing stuff together, we got the first show that we can handle this. We can handle $600 as a people. We got a farm that we want to get cows there so we can start providing meat for everybody. Grow the cow up, little Betsy, let Betsy grow on up, have some children, we're going to slaughter her, we're going to be good. Because what I know, but we got to slaughter her so we can eat. You know what I'm saying? We got a pond. We got a pond that we're going to get the pond cleaned out to what? To put our own fish in so we can have fish. We growing vegetation. This is why we got to do better with going out there to the land. And this is why I'm not trying to meet every weekend. On the 4th Sunday, we go out to the land and start doing it. We miss some time to plant some seeds. You see what I'm saying? There's so much that we can be doing. But if we start off saying, okay, let's put our money together to handle this project here at the building, at least that's done. And then we can start putting money into other things to get other things done. Because we ain't moving. What we ain't going to do is try to build a big old building, $100,000 and $200,000 some $1,000 building, because ain't no need for that. I don't think, for us to do. Long as we can put everybody, we will outgrow this, we'll look at somewhere else to rent. You see what I'm saying? So, let me go back to the Freewill offering.
So I'm sorry, I just
Go
want
ahead.
So if we can just give a combo a month, we'll be all right.
Yeah, if you set in your heart, each family, come on. I just got what you said. She said we give a combo a month. Now, we're going to need more than a combo in Augusta, and we're going to need more than a combo in South Carolina, but online, the online subscribers, if y'all just don't do 2 combos, y'all good. Skip one. But I'm going to say this. Allow the Most High to deal with you. Because if you want to give more, please do. Because we got so much work to be done. That's going to require more than $10. But that's just the medium. where we ask people to start at. We still got some, well, never mind, I ain't gonna get into all that. But it's important for us to do that. Exodus 35 and 20 real quick. Then all the congregation of the people of Israel departed from the presence of Moses, and they came up everyone whose heart stirred them, and everyone whose spirit moved in him, and brought to Yah's contribution to be used as the tent meeting for all this service for the holy garments. And so they came, both men and women, and all who were willing brought forth. Verse 24, everyone who can make a contribution of silver, bronze, brought forth to the Most High's contribution. So all the people, when they were setting up the temple even there, all the people bought off what they had to the most. Notice they didn't say Moses' contribution. They called it the Most High's, and it said everybody that stirred them. Once you get this vision of awaken, restore, and prepare in your heart, and this is why I love for y'all to go outside of here. Like people like Brother Shakira and Sister Monica, they always, when we go out, they go outside with us. Even with Passover, with Sister Carolyn and Brother David, Sister Nakunda now, they go outside of here. Then you see how big this thing ain't. It ain't just about Augusta.
That's true.
Because sometimes you can't see past what's in front of you. But you go to an event and see how the Most High is bringing us all together, you be like, man, the Most High is moving. Then you get to meeting other people in other cities and conversating. Because you never know. My goal is this. Well, we can get to the point. We don't know where something might happen anywhere. But I want Augusta, South Carolina, New Orleans, Florida, Texas to be set up. If a congregation have to come to your city because something happened, they good. And we already know you. Because who do that? The Jewish people. They ain't even got to know you, but just off their ethnicity, they take care of each other. You see what I'm saying? So we got to, well, I ain't going to take care of no crazy people now. I ain't going to bring no crazy people in the house. But what I'm saying is, I want to say, this is why I want to we get to know each other and all these rebirths everywhere so we can prepare and take care of each other if something break out. But it's good for everybody to be given in a local assembly and those also given online so we can get this work done. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
All right, let's keep going. Let's look at the renewed covenant free will giving. Luke, now let's watch this. Let's look at Messiah, and then we're going to get done in a minute. I tell you what, I'm going to read this one. I'm going to read two more, and then what we'll do, we'll make it a part two. I got one of the mothers told me, don't be rushing, baby. Don't be rushing. Just do two parts. So I'll do part two later. Let me get this one done, and then we'll do part two so I don't seem like I'm rushing. Luke 8. Luke 8. Let's look at these sisters. Luke 8. Verse 8. Because, man, I mean, it's just being honest, man. Them sisters, they can do something with some money. Go ahead.
So you say your vision for us is to be like, no matter where we are, like one call is all.
One call is like State Farm. You in good hands. One call, that's all. Like Nationwide, Rebirth side is on your side. Luke 8. After this, Yahushua traveled from one city and village to another. He spread the good news about the Yah's kingdom. The 12 apostles were with him, and also some women were with him. And they had been cured from evil spirits, various illnesses. These women were married, not some fools or idiots out there saying that Mary Magdalene was the Messiah's wife and that he had children. We gonna eat that up in a little bit because that's retarded. That's just the dumbest. Let me quit doing it. Let me come back. We're gonna eat that up in a little bit. Just hold on. And all the people that say that the scriptures is a copy of Egyptology and Egypt and all that, we're going to come at y'all in just a little bit. Those that non-messianic that think Isaiah 53 is only for Israel and not about the Messiah, we're going to eat y'all up in a little minute too. The 12 apostles were with him, and some women were with him, and they had been cured from evil spirits and various illnesses. These women were Mary, who was also called Magdalene, who had 7 demons got cast out of her. Johanna, whose husband was Chusa, and was Herod's administrator. Susanna and many other women. What did they do? They provided financial support for Yahushua and his disciples. So it just wasn't Judas that was over the money. You had the sisters over the money and providing and helping with that. Because them sisters probably helped that make a way out of nowhere with the fish and the bread. All right, let's look at this. All right, we'll read these last two and we'll stop right here. Now we'll stop right here. Y'all remember me next time. We're going to start back on the widow's contribution to let you see that it's important. But family, we said all this. This is one of the first lessons we did on giving. Do anybody feel pressured? So this is where there's the Ruach pressure you need. But everybody understand that the work we doing, that it costs to do the stuff that we doing. And that you can actually see fruit from the what we're bearing. And another thing, we want everybody hands on deck as far as helping out, doing as much as you can. And I'm telling you, Augusta in South Carolina is really the headquarters. So the things that we do here will be a model for everybody else. So we definitely got to show love with each other. We definitely got to show understanding with each other and be able to move on and flow together. All right. So what we'll do also too, just to give a few announcements of things that we got coming up. April the 27th, which is next Saturday. Next Saturday, we will be in Columbia, South Carolina, launching our first pre-lunch service in Columbia, South Carolina. We started an assembly there. Get the Most High hand clap. We definitely want them daughters of Judah to be there to start us off with praise and worship. And we're going to have a great time with that. Now, it's either going to be the first weekend in May or the second weekend in May where I'm going to have Benaiah Israel come down. And y'all, if you think you know who you are, that brother bought something that blew me away. I've been studying this a long time and been on it. I can prove, but man, the stuff that he bought out when he did that Spanish Inquisition, and then when he started going out into talking about what happened in 1492 and where we was really at before we came to West Africa, and how I'm telling you, the royalty that we really had, I'm telling y'all need to be in the building. That'll be, I'll let you know, for right now, it's May the 11th, and we'll start at 12 p.m. And he gonna break down some evidence like it'll be without shadow of doubt. He ain't gonna give you everything, because some stuff we saving for the documentary. But he gonna give you enough. And then Pastor Richardson Kelly coming down here, and he gonna do exposing Judaism. And now y'all know I did a teaching on the 1948 line of prophecy, but man, the Jews that he bought out, he got some, boy, he went and he dig deep. He got some old books with some old stuff that just completely destroys you having any faith in the Jewish people at all. Not saying that they can't come into a covenant, but they got to come like everybody else got to come. All right? So that'll be in May. And then the third, May gonna be busy. The third weekend in May, I'm gonna be in Atlanta. We're gonna be teaching in Atlanta. Not the Rebirth in Atlanta, I forgot the name of that one. But it'll be at one of our brothers' assemblies, Boom Church with Pastor William Majors. We'll be teaching down there the third weekend in May. And then the fourth weekend in May is, I know we're going to be big. Hey, y'all, I ain't brought nobody down here in a year and a half. Right? I'm finna break. I gave y'all a year break. We finna make up for it. I just played. But May the 26th would be the Feast of Pentecost. And we're thinking about doing that in a park where we have the kids out there, and we're talking about, you know, when the Torah came and when the Spirit came, and we probably to do the things that how it was done at the mountain, you know, with the lightning and thundering and all that type of stuff. We'll go over all that. But we probably gonna shoot some firecrackers that day also too, as a resemblance of how the mountain was and how the Israel was like, Moses, you gonna talk to him. Because he's talking to us with fire and lightning and all that type of stuff. So we're gonna do stuff to get the children involved, have a little cookout there, have like a mini little concert out there. I'm thinking about getting Diamond Lake and doing it out there. But we'll let you know. South Carolina probably come up with us, and we'll see. But I want to announce this too. I don't think I said this to Augustine. But moving forward, y'all. Moving forward. Moving forward. The only national feast day we doing national is Passover. That'll be it. All the mothers will be regional. Sukkot this year gonna be regional. I mean, Sukkot was good last year. We went down in Florida, had a great time. But Sukkot that's expensive. Dragging all them tents and poles and all that extra stuff you got to have, and dollars and all that type of stuff. Hey, it's expensive. So we're gonna do a regional. I will let you know if it's gonna be. What I mean by regional, it might be in like South Carolina. East Coast gonna stay in the East Coast, the Midwest, and the West, and the West. But we'll let you know. And the only one that we're doing major on is Passover. Now, we're looking at 3 areas. I'll tell you all that later. But all right, family, we're going to get on off online. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate everybody for being, those that do support. We appreciate you for supporting, all the support that you give towards the work of the ministry. We just wanted to do something to stir you up, to check what you're giving, how much you're giving, and allow the Most High to prosper you from there. Hallelujah. Shalom to all to Zion, all those that are online. We getting on offline. Shalom.